Well, hello there, everyone. Sorry for the late start. I'm getting some things set up in the background. Let me go ahead and move it to my other monitor. When it loads, that is. I'm about to import a couple of trees mostly for the meadows, but they could technically be just about anywhere. Some dawn redwoods. I was having to finish converting a couple of them to full geometry in the background, so it is almost ready to go. But as you might know, they're quite heavy when you don't have nanites, so in Blender it takes a minute to work with them. So let me move this to my other monitor so that I can finish that up in the background. Let's see. Okay, that one is just about ready to go. So how's everyone doing today? Hopefully pretty well. Let me start up the music. Yeah, there we go. I almost forgot to start it. But today we're going to make kind of a small pond in the meadow. Make a nice place for people to meet up and relax, try not to die. That kind of thing. Why is it so incredibly dense right here? Actually, you know what? I meant to make it dense right here now that I'm looking at it again, but not this dense. So let's cut that down a little bit. So find the plants, that is. There we are. But yes, so we're going to spend a little time over here setting up a pond and such. And then we'll probably drop by the snow biome because I was working on it yesterday and I'd like to do a little more work on it. Because most of yesterday was getting a few things set up. Just for the general setup of the biome. But I do need to clear this out just a little bit because it's pretty intense in here. A little too much. Look at that. You can actually see now. It's wonderful. And give me just a moment. I apologize if my voice is a little off. It's, I went a good stretch of time without getting sick, about a month, and now here we are and I'm getting sick again. I think we're going to make the pond somewhere over here. I wanted to actually look around first and get a good feel for where I want it based on what I have in mind. That's a lot better. So I'm thinking either somewhere down here or possibly up here if there's a good flat spot. Let's see what this area looks like. Still a little too dense right here. I thought that might be the case. I haven't had a whole lot of time to spend on tuning the foliage distribution in the meadows. So it's not quite where I want it yet. Hello there! Yeah, I think nobody was here just yet. I was just kind of talking to myself, but I figure I do that all the time, so may as well continue, but live. How's your day going so far? Hopefully pretty well. I'm just about to import the new trees. I just converted 2 of them because in order to not bloat the game a ton, I try to limit the amount of a specific species of tree so that I don't have, 10 different kinds of the same one, for example. So I'm kind of thinking doing it up here. I think that is what we'll do. I'm just going to clear out these trees because we can put them back after we get set up. But I'm thinking somewhere about here would be a good place for a little pond. So that tree in the background is ready. Just gonna export it. We've waited far too long to have some dawn redwoods in the game. I probably will end up replacing them at some point, but we'll see. These, it's hard to beat a photo scan, so we may end up keeping these. Yeah, I think people will like the meadows. They're not where I want them yet, for sure, but I have an idea of where I want things heading here, so I think people will like it. Sorry, having to switch back and forth. I'm almost done. This is the reason I have 2 monitors. I'm never working on just one thing at a time. No, sir. We'll set up a little pond here. I should probably flatten the area first, so I don't have any issues. Flatten like this much, and then smooth it out a bit. I don't need it to be a huge pond, but I want it big enough to appreciate. I just like to use this to give some base shape to it that's not flat or smooth. Can't stand that. Now we'll smooth this out a little bit. This is why I like the detail smooth brush, because you can keep that general shape that you just painted but make it smoother. Quite good for not getting that smooth landscape look. That's just disgusting. So now we'll smooth that out. I'll probably even make a pathway up here, otherwise nobody's gonna really be inclined to head this way. Except to go to high places, I guess. Oh, I meant to do this yesterday, but I just remembered. There's a website I subscribe to for textures, and I found a really good one for paths on there just a couple days ago, and I bought it. So we're definitely going to add that because we need better paths. Just wanted to fix the shadows. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure this out, but my fix for the shadows doesn't stick to make them render further out. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but oh yeah, definitely. 100% gonna make a river around here. Just haven't decided where yet. Now a little bit of detail smoothing, I guess you could say. I want it to be a little smoother in the transition up to land, but without making it boring on the inside of the pond. We'll just smooth this out a little bit. We will see how that looks. I think that'll do it. And in the background, I'm merging that tree and exporting it now. So we'll have a couple of dawn redwoods for the meadows. Like I said, they could go anywhere because in prehistoric times they were very common. So, as you can see here, getting the textures ready and it'll be good to go. Actually, I need to find out which ones I'm using here. You'll get to see the chaos workflow, working on multiple things at the same time. I'm going to move that. Pull that up. I think the other one I'm exporting is D. So that's going to be this one. Excellent. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm just going to use a... Actually, you know what? Let's do this a different way. There's a nice little program you can use if you just want to make a quick channel pack texture. So in this case, I want one that has ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. And we're going to do this so that we can use this in the meadows. So right here are the textures. I already did this for the leaves. We just need to do it for the bark so we can use them This is why I can't wait until we move to 5.6, Unreal 5.6, so that we can... That's the wrong one. So that I can channel pack the textures from straight within the engine. Yes, I will be aiming for that. In fact, I think I need to set that up on this landscape layer. We have two... Oh, whoops, I pulled up the wrong one. We have two different meadow layers. Oh, where is it? How did I lose this? Oh, here it is. We have two different meadow layers for the landscape. And one of them I've already set up ground foliage distribution, so that's the one that has tall grass and such and flowers. But I don't know if I've set it up for this one, so we're about to take a look. Just have to make this real quick so that we can use it on the map. Oh, there we are. This program's a little bit slow, as you can see. It will be worth it, though. But the way I have all the materials set up, we use channel pack textures for everything on the map, so it's something I have to do to use anything, really. We're going to put this under metallic. Luckily, this next part is much faster. And yes, same for the rivers, by the way. They will be on the shallow side in some of them. There will be some I make deeper just because I want to accommodate our aquatics. Bias this to a bit more rough. There we go. It's struggling because the textures are 8K, and this program doesn't do quite so well with that. So now we can save that, and there's just one more to make, or two more, I guess, after this. Now we make the next one. Which we have... Let me double check which ones it was. C and D. Okay. Hello there. Oh yes, I agree. The tall grass is going to be awesome. Yeah, I tried to get this done before the stream, but working with full geometry trees in Blender is not very fun. so it was taking its time. And these originally aren't full geometry, but I converted them just so we could use them on the map. There we are. We're almost done here. I apologize for the wait, but you get to see the process. So again, what we're doing is taking the textures, which this one comes with the diffuse, which is color, normal map for bumps, and specular, which gives kind of a reflectivity value. So we're making some to go along with those, just a quick way to do it. It's not the very best way ever. And we're making roughness and ambient occlusion, and then we pack those three into a single texture. This program just runs a little slowly when you have 8K textures, which I won't actually be using in-game, but it's faster than downscaling all to 4K and then doing this. And we have just one more to make. And yes, that is correct. When you walk through the grass, it does move. One of these days, I need to remember to, if I push play and start playing in the editor before the stream, it won't take so long, and then I could actually show you gameplay. But if I were to press play right now, for example, it would take about 20 minutes solid before it actually started playing, because it has to compile all the shaders, and it's much slower in the editor than when you're actually playing the game, a compiled build. Yeah, if it ran the way it does in the editor, nobody would be able to play it. It would not be a good time. Luckily, it's much, much lighter when you play in a build. But in the editor, you have a million things loaded, and it's much more optimized once it's actually in a compiled build. Go. So this is the last one, and we'll be able to import them and get moving on what we were doing. This is kind of a cheap, quick way to do this, but it actually comes out very good. I've been surprised. But I'm not about to go through a whole texture baking process on stream. You would be bored out of your mind. There we are. But we're about to try the water in there, make sure it looks good. Gotta love that little bug where it puts a hole in the map. Gonna have some nice little dawn redwoods. So these aren't ones that I made myself, but I am making some. I chose to use these instead because they're actually scanned. Mine are modeled, which is cool and fun, but you can't really beat a scan. Here we are. We just import these. Yes. Then we'll grab the textures. This will take just a moment while it imports. I just figured for that prehistoric vibe, we should probably have dawn redwoods since they were everywhere back then. So we're finally doing it. And a meadow will be a perfect place to introduce them. Luckily, the setup won't take very long. It just takes a moment when you import full geometry models because they're much bigger in terms of file size. But they run significantly better with Nanite, and a lot of Unreal Engine games would be running a lot better if they used them. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I do have some grass set up on this layer, but it looks like it could stand being a little bit more dense. I also need to up the draw distance just a little bit. I try to keep it pretty controlled, but this is a little bit too close. But also we're a little thrown off on the scale since we're in the editor. I'll drop a human in here in a bit once this is done. That's one of them done importing. And I'm only bringing in 2 because we don't want to completely bloat the game, but variety is good. And I don't think I've ever seen another game that has dawn redwoods in it, so we may be the first. we are. We don't need all of those files, so we're gonna clear them out here pretty shortly. But yes, what's everyone's plans today while I'm getting this set up? I feel like I actually learn routines here. There we are. So the ones we just imported are the textures we just made. We do not need sRGB for those. Excellent. So now these are the trees. We just need to finish setting them up, which will luckily only take a moment. And we're definitely going to drop the triangle count a bit. But yes, when you walk through grass or any ground foliage, it will respond by moving to the side, that kind of thing. I think while we're waiting for this to save, I'll blast a link to the stream to a few people. I would seriously be so excited though if I saw Dawn Redwoods in another game. But I really do think we might be the only ones. No. I love the keep triangle % feature of Nanite because you can literally just cut the triangle count of something down to a fraction of what it was without it looking noticeably different. Because it basically controls... It's kind of like a mask over it, where it'll only render a certain amount of triangles, even though the model itself is still the full model. Yeah, I really like these. Even though I'm making some myself, this particular one, I chose these because they were photo scanned. The trunks, at least. Are temporarily remove collision on that one. Now all we have to do is set up the materials and it'll be good to go. These are... They could be anywhere on the map, but for now at least they're gonna go in the meadows. Oh yes. Hello there. That's the one. That needs to be a virtual texture. Oh, there it is. Good. And one of the trunks here. I basically just made the mangrove material the master for all the custom trees. D. There we go. I apologize if you hear my kids scream every now and then. They're a little rowdy at the moment. And last material. Actually, here we are. So I'm going to use a height mask with these. I mean, yeah, that's true. They are ferns. I've seen it myself. There we go. So now they should be good to go except for collisions. Excellent. So let's just throw some quick, simple collisions on them. There we go. Basically accuracy. Basically. I'm still amazed that I was able to find ferns in Texas after all these years. I'd never seen any anywhere, and then just randomly happened upon them. It was incredible. You've got to love when Unreal's just like, you know what, I don't feel like doing anything, and then I just have to wait. Another simple collision for this one. It's one of those minor optimizations that sometimes people don't think about. Just using the simplest collisions possible. The cost of complex collisions can really add up. Excellent. Hello there. I basically am a fern, it's true. I think these will look really good in the meadows. Definitely going to be taking them back out into Blender later though. Going to work on the topology for the leaves a little bit because they're heavier than I want right now. Which won't impact performance in our case, but it's not ideal for disk space. So let's see how they look just in the environment. You're right. I've always been a fern, it's true. I've seen it. Here we go. Just deleting all the redundant ones we don't need anymore. There we go. We'll organize it and move on. I understand. This is my work, so I'm for once just sitting and focused on work. Thank you for dropping in, though. Just need to fix the pivot location for this. Looks like the trees might be scaled down a little bit too. Let's put a human next to it to check. It's true. I love it. Much better than putting on tires. Actually, it's not too far off on the scale. I was thinking these look too small, but now that I'm looking at... Where'd they go? Now that I'm looking at a person next to it, it seems about right. Maybe a tiny bit small. I feel like 2 times is pretty excessive. So yeah, we'll stick with 1. Okay, so we just have to move the pivot location, and we are good. And we can make this pond. Because they're gonna paint in spots we don't want if we don't fix the pivot location. One day it'll load. It's the downside of working with high poly. Everything takes longer. But in the case of Nanite in our game, it runs a lot better. Okay, we just have to move it on the last one and we are done setting things up. You see why game development takes so long. And then if you're a programmer, it's new bugs popping up every time you fix a bug. Good times. It does make me wonder why these meadow trees are scaled up so large by default. When you look at them back there compared to these dawn redwoods, they're pretty huge. I might end up shrinking some of those. For now though, I'll probably make these a little bit larger, but I'm not going to bake the size difference because then we'd be waiting even longer. I'll just paint them that way. Because I don't know about you, but the loading screens are not my favorite. Boom. Done. So now we need water, but before that, we need a riverbed, and we'll probably throw some rocks in there, just so the water has something to deform around. It makes it look nicer. Boom. No, wait. Boom. That is tiling way too much. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hadn't noticed until just now. Like, that is intense. Oh, that is not the one I wanted. No. Just wow. Why is that one so bad compared to the other materials? Jesus. Realistically, I'll probably change the riverbed material anyways. But I'm working on a better solution for tiling on the landscape right now. I recently fixed it with the cliff sides, but I don't want to use that exact same solution for every layer because it would just be too expensive on performance. Go. Now we'll throw some rocks in here. Not the little ones that are spawning here. Those are just little tiny patches of them, but we want some larger ones. In fact, I'll look in a moment. I'm going to say this is a little too steep right now. After I throw the water simulation down, we'll have a better idea of where we need it. I think I'm going to put those after. We'll just do rocks for now. Want to smooth this out a little bit because that's a bit too much of an incline. It's true. Rocks do rock. I just processed a really good scan of one the other day, and I'm very pleased with it. I put it up on Sketchfab for free. I apologized it and everything. It's not a low poly retopology, just a better one for UVs. We'll probably still tune the slope here, but I think this will do. I wish I could be a rock. Think about it, such a relaxing life. Yes, rocks are alive. Don't question it. The government, man. So we'll use... There's this nice tundra landscape thing. Wherever that is. I've probably scrolled past it a couple times. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Ah, yes. Massive tundra rock formation. That is accurate. That's huge. I think we'll use this right over here. Over yonder. Perhaps. We'll see. It might not look the way I want. As it goes. Actually, yeah, that'll work. Probably this boy, too. Yeah, those work together nicely. Just trying to make sure it doesn't stick through the ground. And reusing the same one for efficiency. Yeah, that actually blended in pretty well. I like it. Yeah, it's a vibe. Actually need to make sure I'm not selecting other ones. I've done that before where I set up a packed level actor like I'm about to do, which is just one actor, and I'll select something across the map and have to break it apart just to make it again. we are. I think if I didn't keep it organized like this, I wouldn't be able to find anything. The map is just absolutely monstrous. Like, I've made huge maps before, but this is probably the biggest one. I guess technically I made one that was bigger once, but it was just to see if I could, really. 100-kilometer map. Rocks rock. The next packed level actor is going to be named Rocks Rock. Just wanted to set a few things in here so we could have some nice water interaction with it when we simulate it in a moment. So I'm thinking we set up a couple ledges around this and then a kind of central rock. I know I have some called like mossy ledges or something like that. There it is. I know, very creative name, mossy ledges. I guess I'll need to make sure you can get up here too. Let's go ahead and set down the water actor just to make sure we get this the right height. Probably a bit bigger though. Yeah, I'll have to adjust where the riverbed material is, but I do like it. We can work with that. I'm pretty sure I've used these same ledges in every biome. It's possible. Oh, there. I'll just go ahead and place all of them out here. I already know I'm going to use them. Yeah, we'll use these, and then we're just going to find, after we set these up, a central rock to put in the middle. There is lava near the desert. Although I'm not sure if it's going to play much of a role in actual gameplay, but the lava is there. I'll tilt that back a little. I just want to make like a small ledge around this. Go. We'll just kind of copy a few of them around at different heights. On one hand, the ability to use thousands of meshes with nanite is great. On the other hand, it means that I take that opportunity and take way too long to make some structures because I want to make them out of individual rocks. It's feeding my bad habits. Now I can kind of copy this in a moment. It's almost at a point where I can. Because I'm not going to individually place every one of these. I just want to make sure it has enough variation to be interesting. There we go. Kind of throw one in between them just to break up that pattern a little bit. Now we can select these and copy them a couple times. I guess I'll just make it the back side of this. It's a little difficult to copy these since it's different angles on the end parts. So now I'll just copy it in smaller sections and that'll speed it up without using too many different meshes. The way it is right now, it'll instance most of them together. So that means barely any cost to actually render it. We just cover up this tiny section and it'll be good to go except for the center rock. It's a kind of weird look, but I like it. I'm a weird guy. It makes sense. I don't know if anyone here has been to Texas before, but I think today I'm going to pick up Wings and More because it sounds incredible. I'm pretty sure that's only a Texas thing. It's like the one good thing about Texas. And I guess lower taxes for businesses, so that's pretty cool for me. Oh, look at that. I missed a spot. What if I just kind of inch it over? Nah. Guess I'll select them all again. I can't just leave that hole. It'll kill me. I'll just put an actual rock. No. Look at that. I can use that one. Just like that. Yes, sir. We've done it again. I kind of want to see lava in real life, but I feel like putting myself in that situation might not be the intelligent thing to do. But you know, sometimes you just have to do crazy things. Like quitting your job to make a dinosaur game, for example. I'm sure I didn't miss any. That would be unfortunate. Okay. I think we are bueno. Those? So yeah, when we make these little packed level actors, it's both optimization and just easier management, but it instances anything that's alike together, which means that those things will draw in one draw call. which is quite good for performance. And now we can drag and drop this if I ever see a spot that looks like it could take the same thing. Now we'll put some kind of central rock here. Honestly, I probably just should have made it part of the same actor, but we'll see. There's a specific one I'm thinking of. Yes. Curious if this would look good. Can we make it happen? I think we can. We will make the thing happen. However, I don't really want it poking out at the bottom. That will work. So then we'll just fill in these empty spots with probably some embankments. So I guess I'll leave them two separate instances for now. How does this look? My purely scientific way of constructing levels. YOLO everything onto the map. That is not it, Chief. So I like the look of it, but I really can't get it to fit the way I want it to. I'm guessing I haven't used this one yet, or I just haven't opened it in a while. And I think we'll put a huge Dawn Redwood right in the middle of this. They actually happen to like growing in quite a bit of water. This one maybe? If this doesn't work, I think I know what we'll use. Thinking it might, yeah. So let's use one of these other embankments I have. Does this have any? I didn't think so. I've been using this in a couple places in this biome. I like it a lot. Such a simple model, but it's a vibe. Can't be denied. Maybe if we use some of these that are convex. Because rocks rock. Oh, I was supposed to name this actor that. I forgot to, so I'm going to name this one Rocks Rock. Not a vibe. Want some nice roots, man. You can see a pattern there. Let's move it over here. With just one more of these roots. Here we go. Now we're getting where I wanted. I have some room to turn this a little. I think we do. And then we'll put a couple of larger rocks right there in the middle. Some big mossy ones. Like these mossy boys right here. Look at them. Absolutely gorgeous rocks. If somebody sat outside my room while I was streaming, they'd probably think I had like schizophrenia. Which, you know, I won't say it's not possible. Telling you, I use this rock everywhere. I just love it. But this time we're not, so disregard. And the last thing, I just want some sort of spire-like rock. Well, there is a literal spire right there, but it isn't the style I want. Maybe this with a different material? Or is that one of the low poly ones? It is. It's not quite what I hoped for. Let's try a log here instead. One of those rotten ones. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's the vibe. So then we'll just put a big tree here in the center somewhere. Probably right about there, since there's a little bit of soil. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Rocks rock. Are. Okay, now we can actually simulate the water and put a tree in here. I guess we'll put the tree in first. These boys right here. Stay like 0.2 on density. Well, 2 to 3. Gonna jitter the pitch a little bit. These are going to be kind of big, so I'm going to put the draw distance pretty far. almost forgot. There we go. Actually, I'm going to make this a little low on the distance that the wind will show up on it, since, at least for now, the leaves are a little more triangle dense than I want them to be. Okay, that's all I needed. Just one to paint, so I can move it. And yes, it is realistic that it would grow pretty much in the water like this. Doesn't end up in the rock. I think my only complaint about these models is most of them aren't straight like that at the bottom. I need to shrink these while I remember. They're still at 8K right now. That's good. And we'll just limit the resolutions on everything. Actually, let's do like this. The leaves are pretty thin, so they don't really need to be high resolution. Would have been an unfortunate thing to forget. Ooh. Now, why is that happening? Guess I'll look at that later. The leaves are not lining up correctly with their UVs. So I'll just try one thing. Since we're using virtual textures, really I could leave these at 4K and it wouldn't... Okay, yeah, I guess I'll see what's going on later. So we have that one in the middle. We'll paint more around it once we have water, but let's go ahead and do the water. Do need to see where these are. Looks like meadows. But I'll leave it for now since I'm not sure. Got a little bit of foliage on the map. Ah, now that is definitely meadows. I try to put them in their correct folders, but sometimes I forget when I paint new foliage. So then we get a bunch outside of the folders like this. So I try to move them when I have them loaded. That, yes, that is still meadows. Here we are, the simulation. Then we'll fix up the landscape material, but we'll just do that after this. I think I've been doing more water simulations lately. Can you blame me though? It's fun. I just like to give it a ton of sources like this to start with, because it makes better water simulations. Just like that. Let's see how that goes. Just need to drop the river material in it. Go. Let's see how it looks. Always with the spiky water. We'll give it a moment, see if it calms down. If not, it'll still be fun to watch. So it did not calm down. Let's do... We can limit the acceleration. We'll limit it to half. Exactly, it's a jacuzzi. We might even make this just a little bit higher. Let's see. About like that. Okay, let's see if that helped at all with the spikies. I think it did. but I actually might raise this up even more. I was hoping for a little bit more water than this. Come join us in the Dino Spa. That looks lovely. I swear, I love this water system. It never gets old. So this is a nice result, but I kind of wanted it a little higher. Let's see how it looks if we were to do that. I think we're going to need more water sources to get what I'm going for. More chaos. Sometimes you just gotta send it. Oh yes, it is lovely in game. Like this, but better looking because everything's toned down a little bit in the editor. Hello again. This is fluid flux. I've mentioned it on the other streams, but I'm not sure if you were around those times. It's definitely one of the more complicated ones to use, but if you take the time to learn it, in my opinion, it's worth it. It looks amazing, and it's much better than the other options out there that I've seen. We used to use a different one, but it just never fully functioned correctly like this one does. This one also works really well for performance. Let's let that keep going a little longer. I want to make that little ridge look nicer. Yeah, I like this. Good result. We'll keep it. Yeah, Blue Ninja does look nice, but the developer of that one, I'm not a huge fan of them because they made our other ocean that we used and just were generally unhelpful, didn't really offer documentation or anything. Lots of the features didn't work correctly. I'm sure it had something to do with it being a map of this size, but we definitely know what we're doing and never could get it to work the way it was advertised. So fluid flux is expensive, but in my opinion it's worth saving for. There were a few things about the way they're running their assets that I'm not a big fan of. Didn't seem really honest. So I usually just avoid their products now. But this one is a little bit of a pain to work with sometimes, since if you want a river, for example, or a pond, you have to simulate it, as far as I know. And the documentation isn't great, but some of the videos they've uploaded on Fluid Flux are useful, so it's doable. There are different presets for Fluid Flux. I don't think they, by default, have a stylized one, but I might be wrong. Let me look. Once I pull up the river again in a second, we'll see. I think that's a little bit much. We don't need a perfectly detailed mesh, since it is just a flat surface, really. Guess we do want it about like that, though, so we can avoid nasty edges. I'm really glad to hear that. What happened with the Isle? I've still never played it. I plan to, though, because it looks fun. And I do really appreciate it, by the way. You can remove that. I can definitely tell you that one of the strengths of ours is that it's a lot more heavily optimized than other Unreal Engine games. Not all of them, because I'm sure there are some great ones. Like Hellblade 2, that was a well-optimized one. But everybody we have doing their part here is very good at what they do. So the environment, everything is, while it looks nice, it's very heavily optimized. So let's see, I don't remember if they have a stylized one. It looks like I'm not seeing a stylized preset here. But I imagine you can make one. Yeah, I don't see anything geared towards stylized, but I have another stylized project just for fun, and I'm using this in it, and I just use different color presets, and it ends up fitting pretty well. Oh boy, yeah, that doesn't sound good. just use the wetlands material right here. Seems fitting. These are wetlands. I've seen it. See, that's a vibe right there. And I think we'll put it right here too. It fits. So now let's put some trees around it. Some of them are going to be the new Dawn Redwoods. So you have dense, we need this. Oh, that one's floating. We will fix that. But a big thing we're trying to do is be really transparent about development and what to expect, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that helps, because I know new guy on the block isn't always trustworthy. I'm glad. When we mentioned doing streaming, at first I was a little skeptical just because I didn't think anybody would want to watch, because a lot of game development is really repetitive and time consuming. But it turns out people like it. So I'm glad I was wrong. Because I know from games I play, I prefer when the developers communicate a lot. And I think it also will help people understand what to expect, and that they can see the process of how something like this is made, and see if you find certain little mistakes, that kind of thing, you'll know, oh, this happened. It's fixable. No big deal. Hopefully you'll get a little more confidence for the developers. I think I might actually set this to where they're a little further under the ground by default. Seems like it's a bit too high. Yeah, see, this is the reason why I thought people wouldn't want to watch it, because I've spent 2 hours on a pond, but surprisingly to me, people seem to enjoy it. I guess I shouldn't be that surprised, though, because I love making these. So let's adjust how far into the ground these are. Is that even far enough? A little further actually might be good. Try to compensate for hills, that kind of thing. Now we'll add some more stuff around it. I'll probably just manually adjust a few of these. It's understandable when it's on the side of a hill and it floats a little bit. I'm glad to hear it. I spend definitely too much time on Reddit, and I don't know if I've ever seen our game mentioned on the subreddits I'm on, but I might be on different ones. Actually, no, I do remember one time I saw it. That's pretty good. So now I'll add some little patches of smaller trees. Maybe dogwoods. Yeah, dogwoods and lindens. I think that one might be a little closer to the others than I wanted. It's too many. Mainly I wanted to put them in little clusters around here. What is this set to on the ground slope? Seems a little high. Actually, I don't want these. I want the sunlight to come in. See how that's looking? That's pretty good. I like it. So I guess I'll smooth out this landscape a little bit. I'm just about to stop so I can grab some lunch, but I want to make sure this looks nice before I stop. I can't remember on... Actually, I don't think she's here today, but one of the people that watches pretty consistently, she mentioned a lagoon and I ended up finishing it, but I don't remember if I showed it on the stream. Oh yes, lagoon. Lagoon with the boys. I think what I'll do for now, I won't add more embankments yet because that takes a little while, and I'm about to stop and eat, but I'll add some smaller rocks to kind of scatter around. I think the dawn redwoods look really nice in this environment. I like it. It is a whole vibe. Excellent. We'll just add those rocks right about here. I'm gonna toss them around as you do. Not inside the tree, you dingus. There are not fish yet, but probably pretty soon. I'll just toss some of these in the water, so that you have to be a little scared when you go walking it. Like, am I going to stub my toe on these rocks? Yes, you will. So, I'm just about to end the stream, but we'll drop by the lagoon so you can see what it looks like. Since I mentioned it, may as well visit it. There you go, floating water. Which reminds me, I need to actually set that to disappear. Anyways, It should be right about here. Fire it up. It came out pretty good though. I think this will be one of the spots that the beach dwellers like to go. Lagoon! That's right. Absolutely right. Oh yay. Save the landscape. How exciting. Yes. I was really hoping I wasn't the only one thinking that. Let's go. We'll make the landscape not black here in a moment. Actually, it looks like it's not affecting where we're going, so this... Let me fix the water real quick so you can actually see what it'll look like in-game. Ah yes, you're right. The horseshoe crabs killed all the fish. Oh no. It's a W, my friend. But yes, this is the lagoon in all of its glory, doing water stuff. So now you too can go lagooning with the boys. Ah, that's a good question. I don't think it would be that big of a deal to add fish, so I don't think it should take too long. Yes, correct. Is it? Why does it look like this? That's what I thought. I think there are two of them here. Yes, that is what's happening. There were two. Thank you. I was like, this is looking really strange. But all is well now. It's fixed. But yeah, I guess we will go ahead and stop here, because I'm going to go get some lunch. Wings and more sounds pretty fantastic, if you ask me. But I will be back on Thursday, and I hope to see you all then. Have a good day, everyone.